It was the dead of night. The kind of night where the darkness feels alive, pressing in on you from all sides. I was standing in the barn, the smell of hay and damp wood thick in the air. At first, I thought it was just the wind, but then I heard it. Whispers. Faint, like they were coming from the shadows themselves. I froze. My breath caught in my throat. The whispers grew louder, overlapping, like a dozen voices speaking at once. I couldn't make out the words, but the tone. It was wrong. It was like they were mocking me, taunting me. And then they stopped. That scream! It cut through the silence like a knife. It wasn't human. It couldn't have been. I should have left that farm when I had the chance, but I didn't. And now, I'll never forget what I saw. This is based on true stories, retold. Tonight's episode, The Whispering Fields. My name is Jakob. I was a farmhand on the Gruber family farm in Hinterkaifeck. It's been years since I left that place, but the memories, they've never left me. I worked for the Grubers for a little over a year. They were a strange family, but I never thought I'd be a witness to something so horrific. I've carried the weight of what happened on that farm for years. The whispers, the footsteps, the fear that hung over that place like a storm cloud. And then, the murders. The Gruber farm was isolated. It sat at the edge of a dense forest, surrounded by fields that seemed to stretch on forever. It was beautiful in a way, but there was something about it that felt off, like the land itself was holding its breath. The family was just as strange. Andreas Gruber, the patriarch, was a hard man, stern, cold, and quick to anger. His wife, Cecilia, was quiet, almost timid. Their daughter, Victoria, was a widow with 2 young children, little Cecilia and Joseph. I remember my first day on the farm. The air felt heavy, like a storm was coming, even though the sky was clear. Andreas showed me around, barking orders, while Victoria tried to make small talk. She seemed trapped, like she was carrying a weight she couldn't put down. And the children, they were sweet, but there was a sadness in their eyes that I couldn't ignore. From the very beginning, there was an unease about that place, and it only got worse. It started with small things. Tools would go missing, only to turn up in strange places. Doors that we'd locked at night would be found wide open in the morning. And then there were the footsteps. At night, when the house was quiet, you could hear them. Slow, deliberate footsteps. Coming from the attic. Andreas was the first to notice. He'd sit at the kitchen table, staring at the ceiling, his jaw clenched. One night, he grabbed a lantern and stormed up there, shouting for whoever, or whatever, was making the noise to show themselves. But he found nothing. Then came the footprints. It had snowed the night before, and when we went outside in the morning, we saw them. Footprints leading from the edge of the forest to the house. But there were no footprints leading back. Andreas tried to brush it off, but I could see the fear in his eyes. Victoria begged him to leave the farm, to take the family and go somewhere safe. But he refused. I'll never forget what he said. Whatever it is, it's already inside. The night it happened, there was a storm. The wind howled and the rain lashed against the windows. I was in the barn, finishing up some chores, when I heard it. Voices, muffled, coming from the main house. I stepped outside, the rain soaking through my clothes in seconds. The house was dark, but the barn door, it was open, just a crack. I don't know why I went in. Maybe I thought I could help. Maybe I was just curious. But as I pushed the door open, the smell hit me. Blood. The lantern in my hand shook as I stepped inside. The first thing I saw was Andreas. He was lying on the ground, his head, it was... I turned, and there was Cecilia, slumped against the wall. Victoria was next to her, her arms wrapped around little Josef, as if she'd tried to protect him. And then, little Cecilia. She was still alive. Her eyes met mine, wide with terror. She tried to speak, but all that came out was a gurgle. I wanted to help her. I wanted to run, but I couldn't move. I just stood there, frozen, as the life drained from her eyes. And then I heard it. Footsteps, behind me. I turned, but there was no one there. Just the shadows, watching, waiting. The police came the next day. They searched the farm, questioned the neighbors, but they never found the killer. The case remains unsolved to this day. The community was gripped by fear and suspicion. People turned on each other, accusing their neighbors, their friends, but no one could explain what happened. I left the farm not long after. I couldn't stay. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw their faces. I heard the whispers, and I still do. I've tried to move on, but the memories, they won't let me. The whispers still haunt me. The shadows still follow me. If there's one thing I've learned, it's this. Trust your instincts. If something feels wrong, it probably is. And never, ever ignore the whispers. This has been based on true stories retold. If you'd like more stories where real events get retold from the inside, you can subscribe to this show, leave us a like, or share it with someone who sleeps with one ear open. Thanks for listening. Good night.